3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sisters, brothers, fellow activists, good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here in solidarity with Danial Ramirez Medina. What are we demanding? We are demanding free Danial now. Free Danial now. Free Daniel now. Free Daniel now.
Free Daniel now. Free Daniel now. Free Daniel now. Free Daniel now. Free Daniel now. Free Daniel now. Free Daniel now.
Sisters and brothers, I wanted to apologize that we are having a late start, but it's a work day morning and more people are joining us as we go on, and I know there will be more people once we get started. But just to highlight why it is so critical that we're here, the deportation of any human being is outrageous. But what is so egregious, especially about what has happened to Danial, is that he is a DACA recipient and a dreamer. What that means is that he has the legal right to stay and work in the US. And yet Donald Trump, in his bigotry and with his billionaire-backed agenda, has decided that he is going to go after every possible immigrant. And what is our response going to be? We are going to fight back, because when immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? When immigrant rights are under attack, stand up! Sisters and brothers, I speak to you not only as a council member of the city of Seattle, but as a socialist, as an activist, as a worker and member of the labor movement, and as an immigrant myself. I know personally the chill that goes down your spine when you're an immigrant and when your fellow immigrants are attacked. And that is why, for me, this is a personal, political, and moral duty that we are out here in solidarity with Danial and all immigrants. I wanted to introduce to you my fellow MC for this rally, a wonderful woman, immigrant fighter, and immigrant rights attorney, Sandy Restrepo, who heads the Colectiva Legal del Pueblo.
Hi everybody, how are you guys doing today? So thank you for being here. So, you know, we're here for Danial, right? And we're here for all immigrants and all families. So how about we start with a little chant, right, to get us warmed up. Hola, buenos días, ¿cómo están todos? Me llamo Sandy Restrepo, soy abogada de inmigración. Voy a estar con ustedes esta mañana. Lo que quería hacer primero es si podíamos decir, nomás estamos aquí para Daniel, pero para todas familias. So cuando digo, voy a decir un chant, para empezar. So cuando digo no ban, ustedes dicen no wall. No muro, no deportaciones, ¿ok? ¿Qué queremos? No muro. No wall. Okay, so we'll work on that. All right, so I'm gonna pass it over to Shama and we're gonna get started. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Before I introduce our first speaker, I wanted to share with you a message from the National Lawyers Guild. If at any point today or in the future you face any police repression, the National Lawyers Guild support hotline number is 206-422-4663. That's 206-422-4663. I wanted to share one message with you before our first speaker, and I'm going to share it throughout this rally because it's very important. Seattle has declared itself a sanctuary city. The mayor and my fellow council members have together stood in solidarity with immigrants, and we've said that this is a sanctuary city. But as an elected representative of working people, I feel strongly that we live in a time when it is important for elected officials to go beyond platitudes and show action. That is why I am urging the mayor, do not use Seattle police to repress peaceful anti-Trump protests. Instead, the mayor should use Seattle police to block ICE from seizing human beings. I wanted to invite Reverend Shalom Abdarab, who is currently serving a multi-ethnic congregation in Burien. She is the daughter of Filipino immigrants and knows firsthand that this is a nation of immigrants. Please warmly welcome Shalom.
Buenos dias! Magandang umaga po! Happy Friday, Seattle! We got our coffee in one hand and protest signs in the other. That's how we roll in Seattle. I want to do a quick shout out to all those who came out on a Friday morning with your kids, maybe a late start to work, maybe you took a day off. Know that your efforts, your sacrifices are not in vain. We are here to call upon the Spirit of God that continues to reside within us and around us. We are here to say today, when unjust laws treat people unfairly, we subscribe to a higher moral law. So brothers and sisters, with your hand over your heart, feeling your heartbeat, knowing that that is the very presence of God within you, let us pray. Holy One, you are known by many names. We call upon you as Creator, as Parent, as Father and Mother of us all. We call on you as those who have gone before us have called on you in difficult times. We call on you as the saints surround us, that we might be established and strengthened in your love, that we might protest non-violently and act with courage, that we might call upon the highest powers of this land to examine what they do, oh God, to examine how they treat the neighbor, the alien, the stranger, that they might know that they too were once strangers in this land. Oh God, we call upon you to fill our hearts, to continue to connect us to one another, and when the time is right, to be prophetic and speak truth to power. This is what we ask this day in the name, in the many names in which you are called. I ask this in the name of Christ. Amen. Amen.
la pastora Shalom. Ella es pastora en la ciudad de Burien y estaba dando una convocación y una bienvenida a todos los que están aquí. Antes que vamos a ir a la próxima persona que va a hablar, quería escucharlos otra vez para que nos escuche el juez hasta el 10º piso que está. ¿Cómo están? Bien, woo! Alright, so before we go on to the next speaker, I just wanted to keep you guys warmed up and awake. So when I say, I'm going to do these chants in Spanish because this is what we're here for, right? We're all going to learn a little bit of Spanish. Alright, so when I say, ¿qué queremos? And then you guys say, justicia. And when I say, ¿cuándo? You guys say, ahora, alright? ¿Qué queremos?
Justicia.
¿Cuándo?
Ahora.
¿Qué queremos?
Justicia.
¿Cuándo? All right, so next up, we're going to have Michael Ramos from the Greater Church Council. All right, vamos a tener a Miguel Ramos, que nos va a hablar del concilio de iglesias de Seattle. Muchas gracias.
Good morning, everyone. The Church Council of Greater Seattle adds its voice to that of all community members and faith leaders here and all across the United States in denouncing the detention of Mr. Danial Ramirez Medina. In clear possession of a current grant of deferred action, he must be released. People of faith see it as a moral duty to uphold the rights and dignity of every person. Our houses of worship require no documents. We decry the new ICE efforts to arrest first a person who has been a beneficiary of DACA. Second, a woman turned in as a result of suffering domestic violence. And third, 6 individuals seeking shelter out of the cold in a church building. The threat comes not from immigrants who are building up our society, nor from refugees of diverse religious backgrounds who are laying the foundations of a new life, but from dehumanizing hate, rhetoric, and actions that sow fear in our communities. We stand together on the side of love and solidarity with all our neighbors, especially those targeted. No to the criminalization of entire categories of people. Yes to discovering the power of DACA recipients and undocumented people to be determiners of their own future. Will we cooperate with the regime of rage, detention, and deportation? No! Will we honor the mothers and fathers who are so courageous despite the trauma they experience? Yes! Laws which are unjust, which divide and discriminate, must be challenged and changed. Yes! We need to build and plant, work and eat, bring dignity and justice, first with ourselves and to our entire nation. If ICE can detain Mr. Ramirez Medina, a DACA recipient, with impunity, then I'm afraid they can seemingly try to detain every single non-citizen in our country. And I'm afraid to say, on the 75th anniversary of the cruel and unjust internment of 110,000 Japanese Americans during World War II, it may well try to detain citizens as well. Let us not fail to act when they come for people without documentation. Let us not fail to act when they come for Muslims and religious minorities. Let us not fail to act when they try to dismantle trade unions, our housing and health and our well-being, but rather stand up with our backs straight for each other. Stand up for liberation from intolerance and exclusion. Stand up for an intersectionality that sees our fates as intertwined. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? The circle of protection for Daniel, for all of us, is woven in our being here today, and as we carry forth the torch today, tomorrow, and every day. Thank you.
Free Daniel now! and Director of Indigenous Placemakers and Indigenous Cultural Arts Event Production nonprofit here in Seattle. With her Blackfeet background, Kim is an advocate for Indigenous people and proactive placemaking. Please loudly welcome Kim.
Thank you. With blessings, I would now like to acknowledge each and every one of you being here. With thanks to the First Nations of this land, each and every one of us are now standing upon. May we give thanks to the Suquamish, to the Puyallup, to the Muckleshoot, to the Tulalip, to the peoples of the White, the Green, the Black, and the Duwamish rivers. May each and every one of you, as you stand here in solidarity and support, acknowledge our ancestors, that our ancestors are here with you in thought, in prayer, and spirit. And may each and every one of you carry that with you through this day in support of this young man and in support of each and every one of you in the powerful work that is being done here to strengthen each and every one of us in the mind and the spirit of the Indigenous way. So I thank you, we thank you in much, much respect and honor. Aho.
Thank you so much, Kim. Sisters and brothers, fellow activists, what is happening around us right now is, it's not just one community that's under attack, it's various sections of the 99% that are under attack. It's DACA recipients, it's all immigrants. Women's rights are under attack. Black and brown rights are under attack. And workers' rights are also in the crosshairs of Trump's billionaire-dominated agenda. So how do we fight this kind of divide and conquer? We build a united fighting struggle of the 99%. Because, and I want you to do this chant with me, it says, the people united will never be defeated. 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 Louder, louder. United will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Whoa! Whoa! Please join me in welcoming Paul Quiñones, who is a founder and leader in the Washington Dream Coalition. He's a DACA recipient and dreamer himself. He moved to the US at the age of 7 with his family to be reunited with his father. And he grew up in Eastern Washington. Welcome our fellow fighter and activist, Paul.
Good morning, sisters and brothers. My name is Paul Quiñones, and I'm an undocumented, unafraid, and unapologetic youth leader with the Washington Dream Coalition. Like Daniel, I came to the United States when I was 7 years old to be reunited with my father, who already lived and worked here. Much like Daniel, and I can relate a lot to Daniel, and this case has hit really close to home. He's only a year older than me. Upon moving to the United States, I grew up in the Tri-Cities in a migrant agricultural background and then moved to Seattle after graduating from college. Since then, since the election back in November, my family and millions of others of families have seen themselves and their lives been thrown into chaos. They have lived in fear and uncertainty due to the actions taken by the Trump administration and Republican leadership, Will we let that continue? President Trump and Speaker Ryan have repeatedly lied to our communities. They have stated that Dreamers and DACA recipients have no reason to be fearful. And yet, we have Danial here waiting for this court to decide his fate today and in the coming hearings. Shame! That's correct. With Danial's arrest, we have seen the federal government breaking its promise and shown that it cannot be trusted. It has shown that while DACA recipients may not currently be specifically targeted, none of us are safe from deportation and detention by this regime of terror. A well-oiled machine of deportation that has been reinforced with Trump's executive orders on interior enforcement that were ordered a couple weeks back. These orders have further criminalized our communities and have broadened the priorities of ICE for deportation to the point that out of 11 million undocumented or more immigrants in this country, 8 million of our community members, of your fellow Washingtonians and Americans, could now be subjected to detention and deportation to countries that they do not know and that are not safe to them, in part due to the capitalist and imperialism systems enforced by the United States. If there was any doubt, if any of us had any doubt that Trump's regime has declared an open war, an open season on all immigrants in this country, that doubt should have evaporated by now. Sister, shame on Trump, that's right, shame on Trump. Sisters and brothers, sisters and brothers, it's time for all of us to come together and organize our communities and come together in mass mobilization to demand that Danial is released. But that will not be enough. Danial will be one of many in our community that will be coming under attack. And we need all of you to come down from Seattle to Tacoma this Sunday for a rally at the People's Park at 2 p.m. to continue to organize and demand that Danial and these executive orders on interior enforcement are repealed. Join us, and we are calling on our allies to come and learn more, and to join us in the future to put your bodies on the line and physically shut down the detention center in Tacoma. A private detention center that's allowing corporations in this country to profit from the pain and suffering of our immigrant communities. We need all of you to be alert and to stay in touch with us, to join us for when the day comes, because it will come, that buses will be leaving the detention center with hundreds of our Washingtonians trying to treat them as deportables. And we need all of you to come to the detention center and stop those buses from being able to leave the detention center. We have also just heard that the Trump administration is considering sending National Guard to act as immigration agents. We need all of you to join us in demanding that Washington State refuse to allow the National Guard to enter our borders. Refuse to allow the nearest National Guard, which is in Oregon, from entering our state. Sisters and brothers, it's time for all of us to come together and declare that all Washingtonians and all undocumented Americans are here to stay, and that none of us are going anywhere.
All right, aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Woo! All right, can you guys hear me in the back by the street? What's up? Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me and you're back by the street, can you take a couple steps forward? We won't bite. Come on. If you guys could just take a couple steps forward and come into the group. Thank you. Okay, so up next, we're going to have Kaylin Nicholson, an activist with Social Alternative. So la próxima persona que va a hablar es Kaylin Nicolás, una activista con la Alternativa Socialista que estaba peleando para el movimiento de $15 la hora. So Kaylin was fighting in the movement for $15 now. So thank you, Kaylin.
We live in a society where people who are white and who were born in this country are told that our access to decent paying jobs and to social welfare programs depends on excluding other people from them. We are told that there just are not enough jobs and not enough money to go around. So in order to provide for our families, we need to deny others the right to provide for theirs. This idea that life has to be a ruthless competition over scarce resources, pitting citizen against non-citizen, man against woman, white against person of color, in a desperate struggle for a decent standard of living, is possibly the biggest lie in our world today. There are not millions, not billions, but trillions of dollars sitting in tax-free bank accounts all over the world that belong to Trump's friends, the wealthiest businesses and individuals in our society. In fact, for the first time in history, we have reached a state where 8 individuals have as much wealth as the bottom 1/2 of the world's population combined. It is a cold, hard fact that we could use that money to create millions of jobs, building infrastructure, transitioning our country away from fossil fuels and towards renewable energy, creating a world-class public transportation system, massively improving public education, providing affordable, high-quality health care and child care for all, and we could afford to do it without closing our borders or deporting a single immigrant or refugee. So don't tell me that my quality of life depends on depriving my immigrant neighbors of theirs. Don't tell me that I have to look out for my family and accept that others will be broken. The quality of life that my family and every family deserves can be won by refusing to fight against each other for crumbs and instead, together, turning our eyes to the trillions of dollars that our labor has created and that the billionaires are hoarding. I will fight with you, not against you, because my fate is bound up with yours in the possibility of a new type of society where wealth and resources are used to meet human need, not corporate greed. We need to free Daniel. We need no ban and no wall. But more than that, we need not one more deportation. And we need to fight for living wage jobs, affordable housing, healthcare, childcare, and high-quality education for every single human being. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaylin. As a fellow socialist of Kaylin's, I echo every sentiment that she expressed, that our struggles are bound up together. And if we are to create a society that is just for one community, then it is going to be a society that is going to work for all communities or not at all. And that is why it's important to take to heart what my brother Paul said a few minutes earlier, that we are not going to be able to fight against Trump's attacks on a case-by-case basis. Because there will be so many attacks, we are not going to be able to litigate our way out of this crisis. This moment in history demands that we build a united struggle from the grassroots of the 99%, but a struggle that is non-violent and combative and militant. Let's think of the only defeats that Trump has experienced in his short stay in the White House. We have just won a historic victory of a divestment from Wells Fargo. Why did we win that? Did we win because we put our faith in the corporate politicians at City Hall? We won it because we built a determined struggle on the ground. We packed City Hall and we made it impossible for the corporate politicians to not vote yes. But in many ways, an even bigger defeat, a stinging defeat, was sent to Donald Trump when our movement mobilized hundreds of thousands of people in all the airports across the country, including SeaTac. We shut down the airports and we demanded that all detainees be released. And we fought back against the Muslim ban and we won. That is the kind of civil disobedience and militant movement that we are going to need, sisters and brothers, and we are going to have to build for bigger actions. So I appeal to you all, let's organize from now until May 1st so that we can have a nationwide day of strike actions on May 1st. Let's remind the billionaire class that this country runs because we workers go to work every day. And if we refuse to work, what happens? Business as usual is shut down. Let's shut down business as usual on May 1st. Are you with me? Next, join me in welcoming Hamdi Muhammad, an inspiring young activist who is with Congresswoman Jayapal's Constituent Services and Outreach team, and she works on immigration casework. Please welcome Hamdi.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you to everyone who is here today. Thank you, everyone who has organized this event. My name is Hamdi Muhammad, and I am Congresswoman Jayapal's Immigration, Constituent Services, and Outreach Coordinator. I was born the youngest of 10 siblings in Mogadishu, Somalia in 1990. A year later, I fled the country with my family as the Somali Civil War broke out. I came to America when I was 3 years old, and by the 3rd grade, I had landed in Seattle. When I heard about Daniel's story, I kept thinking about myself and all the other people out there that could relate to it. As we have said from the start, President Trump's deportation force has struck our immigrant community and taken one of our own. It's unconscionable that Daniel, who has trusted the government and registered under DACA, was picked up and sent to a detention center. The president should immediately direct Secretary Kelly to do the right thing, right the wrong. Yes, instead of deporting young people who were brought here through no fault of their own, followed all the laws in signing up for DACA and have not lived in the country they are being sent back to. Daniel belongs in this country. Daniel must be released immediately to his family. It is clear that these inhumane raids are not routine. The president is tearing apart our families and striking fear into our immigrant communities. People do not feel safe in their own homes. Earlier this week, Congresswoman Jayapal, who herself is an immigrant and has fought for 2 decades for immigrant rights, sent a letter to Secretary Kelly demanding that ICE comes clean and release Daniel to his family. Last night, Daniel's attorney released evidence showing ICE agents doctored documents to claim that Daniel is connected to gangs. Yes, boom. You can go online and see the photos of these documents. Here's the bottom line. Seattle stands with Daniel. And we will not back down until he is free. The Congresswoman will not rest until justice is served. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of the resistance.
Free Daniel now! 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 Free Daniel now!
All right, thank you.
Daniel now! Free Daniel now!
And thank you, Hamdi. So up next, we have Ayuli, that's a Tacoma homeowner. She's a DACA recipient, wife and mother of 2 kids, and a restaurant worker. So come on up.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to say that I asked for the freedom of Daniel, and I'm here in behalf of the 21 Progress. Hang on, I'm really nervous. I'm gonna read a little bit, I'm gonna introduce a little bit more, okay? My name is Julian, and I'm 30 years old. I'm a DACA recipient, and I'm a mother, a wife, a homeowner, a restaurant worker who lives in Tacoma since I was 11. I'm a leader with the 21 Progress, a non-profit organization that stands for human rights in our community. And I want to thank I want to thank the council members, the governor, the senator, and the Congress people, and their city officials that standing out with my community, and to all of you guys to be here today. I moved to the United States when I was 11, and I live in shadows until I was 25. When I applied for getting my DACA, I was nervous and I was afraid because I knew that I was showing up everybody that I would get here illegally. After thinking about it, I decided to do it. And I remember the day that I received my document saying that I was an official DACA recipient. I called every single person in my phone to let them know that now I was an official part of America, and I'm so proud of it. Thanks to DACA, I was able to bring up my more bigger dream up, to have a home, to bring my kids a better life. So when I find out about Daniel, it just confirmed me what I've been for the last month, so afraid of it. I'm afraid that someone is going to come looking for someone else, and they find me on my way, and they keep me, and arrest me, and deport me. And last night I made the decision to come today and talk, because I'm not afraid anymore. Thinking that we win by having DACA now. But I really want to invite you guys to come out and see that if it's not for all of us, we're not going to stop this. We need to stop deportations. We need to stop making people think that we're criminals. We're not. I'm a hard worker. I'm a student. I'm a mom.
of today is Free Daniel. Stand with all DACA recipients and all immigrants. But also that there is no strategy and no future for our society unless we in the 99% are united against the right wing, against bigotry, against attacks on workers, and that we remain united against the billionaire class and Wall Street and their greed. And that is why it is my honor to introduce my sister Kamaria Hightower, who's a fighter for workers and is going to speak on behalf of the Martin Luther King County Labor Council. Kamaria.
Good morning, everybody, brothers and sisters. As Shama said, my name is Kamaria Hightower. I'm the Communications Director at the King County Labor Council. We represent over 100,000 workers across King County. We are organizing in cities across King County, trying to move forward ordinances for sanctuary cities. We stand with you. It's beautiful to see out here our brothers and sisters from SEIU. I see brothers and sisters from our retiree council, PASARA. I see teachers, I see state employees. We stand with you. We will fight with you. We will resist with you. We have tons of members across our building trades, the construction unions, across Unite Here, our hotel and restaurant employee union, across the service employee unions who are home care workers, who come from immigrant communities. We will stand with you. We will fight with you. We will resist with you. Free Daniel! Free Daniel! Free Daniel! Free Daniel! Thank you.
All right, how's everybody doing? All right, we're about to take to the streets, and we're about 15-20 minutes into Daniel's hearing, because it started at 10 a.m. We're about 20 minutes in. We haven't gotten any word from anybody inside of what's happened. The hearing was scheduled for about 2 hours. So we still may not know what happens. I don't know if it was discussed before about what's going to happen upstairs. I can give a little bit of a summary on that. On the legal side, he has a habeas hearing, which means that it's to determine whether or not he's being held unjustly, that the detention center and ICE were violating his constitutional rights by bringing him in because he does have protective status. So that decision is going to be made up today. As we heard from our speakers, ICE has been making stuff up. They've been erasing his plea to be separated from the gang unit in the detention center. So they're just pulling all their dirty tricks out, and they're being exposed because they've been doing this for years and years and years. So we're here with Daniel. Daniel is unfortunately not upstairs. He's still in the detention center. He cannot be in this hearing. They didn't transport him, but his lawyers are there, and he's got an amazing legal team, some of the best people in the country representing him too. The next speaker too, I just wanted to let you know, if you guys need information on how to stay safe and know your rights, we have these. They're in different colors and different languages here in the back. We got Ray that has these flyers up here where I'm pointing at, and so if you want to get this information, just check in with him. This is Know Your Rights, what to do if somebody approaches you, if they knock your door, if they come to your job. And so this is just a one-pager so you can kind of know your rights and feel safe, right? So next up we have, our next speaker is Enrique Renteria, and he's a 31-year-old tech worker with 3 brothers in the same situation as Daniel. So Enrique, come on up.
Thank you for being here, guys. Like she said, my name is Enrique. Seattle has been my house, or my home, for me, my younger siblings and parents since I was 8 years old. I am a leader with 21 Progress also. Because of my parents, let's start all over. Sorry. Like she said again, my name is Enrique. Seattle has been my home for me and my younger siblings and parents since I was 8 years old. I am a leader with 21 Progress also, a non-profit organization that stands for human rights and community. Because of my parents' sacrifice and dream, I hope the opportunity to live and be part of this diverse community. I am currently working at a technology innovation company. I fear that if something isn't changed soon by the government, I could lose my job and my community will continue to fear and suffer like Daniel is and his family. Me and my family strive every day to keep up with fast-changing economy that we are now living in. We are all community and all of us deserve to be here. In 2013, I received Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival, aka DACA. DACA gave me an opportunity to simply have a job and to provide for my daily expenses. Now we need to find a solution for immigration issues that respect human rights and dignity. Immigrants have contributed to this country, invested in their own communities in so many ways, and much like my own family. Washington has been my only home since 1993. I am here to support Daniel's case. My family and community now feel threatened. The almost 8 million DACA recipients that trusted in the United States. The new administration is intended to divide us. But I know that we are much stronger than they can ever imagine, because I believe in wholeheartedly that all our communities should not live in fear. I will continue to ask community leaders and elected officials to be courageous. I hope that Governor Inslee and our senators and congresspeople and our city officials stand with our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Enrique. Don't let your spirits flag. We still need your energy to go marching. And do you know something? Our Muslim sisters and brothers are going to have a rally at noon at the Amazon campus. And do you know why they're rallying? Because Amazon, which is one of the richest corporations in the world, and has a CEO that is one of those 8 people who own more wealth than the bottom half of the world's population, Amazon has contracted with a security company called SIS, who has a long list of violation of workers' rights, but now is also saying to its Muslim employees, you can't pray at work. Are we going to accept this kind of discrimination in the workplace? So, let's give the workers at Amazon a big cheer and applause for their pray-in today. And you know, I've been an activist for several years. If I had a dime for every time I used to hear that protest and civil disobedience and direct action does nothing, I would be a rich person by now. And how many times those people have been proven wrong? Do you know that just minutes ago, our movement, demanded that the governor not let the National Guard into the state for ICE? The governor just issued a statement saying he would not let National Guard in. Movements and protest actions work, sisters and brothers. Join me in welcoming Daniela, an incredibly brave young woman. She's a college student at a major university. She does not have DACA. That means she's even more vulnerable, but she is out and proud as an undocumented immigrant, as a student, and as a fighter. She is a community advocate and leader for many organizations. She wants to share with you why the DACA program must be protected and why she is one of the many students and families who continue to be threatened by this inhumane immigration system. please welcome Daniela.
Buenos días, pueblo. My name is Daniela. I'm 20 years old, and I'm a college student, and I'm undocumented, unapologetic, and unafraid. Firstly, I want to acknowledge that it is important to address that this is a stolen nation. It is not a nation of immigrants. We must acknowledge Native American folks and that we're standing on Duwamish land. I am a leader with different nonprofit organizations that focus on seeking liberation for undocumented and underrepresented communities and standing for human rights. I want to thank all of the other speakers. Oh gosh, I lost it. I'm sorry about that. I want to thank all the speakers and elected officials and our city and county officials for standing with my community. Because of my parents' sacrifice and dreams, I had the opportunity to attend a university now as a junior and an opportunity for a better future. In 2011, I was 15 when the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA,